I woke up before my alarm, staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet that felt too clean for my life. Something was wrong. I didn't know what yet, but my chest already knew. I rolled over and looked at Lena. She was awake, phone glowing in her hand. "You're up early," I said. She locked the screen too fast. "Couldn't sleep, that makes two of us." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I watched her scroll again, thumbs moving fast, shoulders tense. "Who's texting at 6? I asked. "Work stuff," she said. My routine kicked in anyway. Shower, coffee, the same mug, the same chair. "You're quiet today," she said. "So are you, I'm just tired." "Yeah," I said. "Me too." The silence sat between us, heavy but polite. I hated how normal it felt. Later that morning, Marcus called. "You alive?" "Barely," I said. "What's up?" "Coffee. 10 minutes." "Same place?" "Always." Marcus was the one person I never doubted. We'd survived worse than bad mornings together. At the cafe, he leaned back and studied me. "You look calm." "I feel calm." "That's not better." "I know," he laughed. "Lena still stressing you out?" I shrugged. "She's distant. Work pressure," he said. She bounced back. "Yeah," I said, because it was easier than arguing. When I got home, Lena was dressed already, makeup perfect. "Meeting?" I asked. She hesitated. "Yeah, late one. With who? Clients?" I watched her grab her bag. "You used to tell me names." She paused. "You're reading too much into things." "Maybe," I said. "I just feel like I'm standing in a room where everyone knows the ending but me." Her jaw tightened. "That's dramatic." "Is it wrong?" She stepped closer. "You trust me, right?" I looked at her and realized the answer mattered more than it should. "I want to." She kissed my cheek. "Then don't overthink." After she left, the apartment felt empty in a new way. I sat on the couch, phone in my hand, scrolling through nothing. My mind replayed her movements, her tone, the way she avoided my eyes. Marcus texted. "You good?" I typed. "Yeah, it was a lie, but a small one." That night, Lena came home late. Too late. She dropped her keys softly. "You eat?" She asked. "Wasn't hungry." She nodded. "Long day." "Worth it?" She froze. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I said. "Just asking." She turned away. "I'm going to shower." Just clarity. I realized then that fear had already left me. All I felt was disappointment, and the quiet certainty that betrayal doesn't arrive loudly. It slips in when everything feels too calm. I stayed on the couch long after the shower ended. Lena didn't come back to talk. The door closed. The lock clicked. I checked the time and smiled at how steady my hands were. "So this is it," I whispered, "not the explosion, not the fight. Just the slow understanding that trust can die quietly." I didn't feel weak. I felt prepared. Somewhere inside me, a plan was forming, not for revenge, not for forgiveness, but for control. If the ground was going to collapse, I would choose where to stand. If a door was about to slam, I would be the one walking through it first. I already knew tomorrow would look normal on the surface. Breakfast, texts, smiles, lies. But inside, something had shifted permanently. I wasn't afraid of losing her. I was afraid of wasting one more day pretending I didn't see what was coming. She asked me for a lighter outside a grocery store, and I remember thinking she looked lost but proud. "You good?" I asked. "Not really," she said. That honesty hooked me faster than her smile. We talked for 20 minutes, then an hour, then like people who didn't want to go home. "You always help strangers?" She asked. "Only the honest ones," I said. I paid for her groceries that night. She tried to refuse and I insisted. "Don't make this weird," I said. "I won't," she said, smiling like someone who needed a win. That was how it started, not fireworks, just relief. Back then, I had more loyalty than money. When Lena told me about her debts, her bad job, and her fear of falling behind, I listened. "I just need time," she said. "Then take it," I said. I helped with rent, food, bills. No questions asked. Marcus warned me once. "You're giving too much," he said. "I'm investing." I said. "People aren't projects," he replied. I ignored that because Lena needed me to be strong. Emily entered the picture months later at a bar. She worked with Lena and spoke carefully. "You're a good guy," Emily said, watching Lena laugh across the room. "She's lucky," I said. Emily hesitated. "Just make sure she's lucky enough," she said. What's that supposed to mean? I asked. Nothing, Emily said too fast. I laughed it off and ordered another drink. Looking back, Lena leaned into me that night and whispered, "You're my safe place." I believed her without checking the ground beneath my feet. I wanted stability, not drama. Loyalty, not passion. I ignored the red flags because love felt like responsibility. Every time Lena thanked me, I felt taller. "Don't ever leave me," she said once. "I won't," I said, meaning I won't stop trying. That promise became my blindfold. I thought saving her meant she'd never leave me. I didn't see that love built on rescue always keeps score. But in those days, I was proud to carry her weight. "One day I'll repay you," she said. "Just stay," I answered. That was the deal I made with my heart. I didn't know then that deals like that always expire. Every rescue creates a debt, even if no one says it out loud. I was just too busy proving my loyalty to notice hers fading. Back then, love felt like a contract I could enforce by effort alone. No one told me effort isn't insurance. If someone wants to leave, they don't need permission. I learned that later when silence replaced promises. But in this chapter of my life, I was still hopeful, still building, still believing, still blind. Lena didn't betray me yet. She just learned how far I'd go for her, and I let her learn. That's why it hurt later in a way pain usually doesn't. Every favor, every sacrifice, every excuse widened the gap. I thought patience would save us. Instead, it trained her to leave without guilt. That's the truth I couldn't see then. I was busy being her foundation while my own walls thinned. By the time I noticed, love had already turned into leverage. And I was still smiling, proud of how much I could give. That pride is what made the fall hurt. Because when you build yourself around someone else, there's nothing left when they step away. I didn't know that yet. All I knew was that I loved her. And I believe love was enough. It never is. That lesson waits until you're too invested to leave cleanly. And I was already deep inside it, smiling, hopeful. I noticed the number first. "Why did the account drop 3,000? I asked, keeping my voice light. She shrugged. "Supplies. You said your company covered that." She laughed softly. "I told you they reimburse later." That laugh stayed with me longer than it should have. Later that day, she grabbed her jacket. "Meeting tonight," she said. "With who?" I asked. She hesitated just a beat. "Finance team." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "Plans change." "Yeah," I said. "They do." When the door closed, I stood still, staring at it like it might explain her for me. Marcus called an hour later. "You free?" he asked. "Always," I said. At the bar, I brought it up casually. "Lena's got a lot of meetings lately," Marcus smiled. "That's good. Means she's moving up, does it?" That word hit harder than it should have. "I support you," she continued. I looked at her and felt my resolve slip. "I'm sorry," I said. "I didn't mean it like that." She relaxed instantly. She leaned in and kissed my forehead. "Don't let your head ruin what we have," she whispered. I nodded, even though something inside me didn't. That night, I lay awake listening to her breathe. I replayed the conversation again and again. The lie was small, barely a lie at all. Just a detail shifted, a meeting moved, a number explained away. But it stuck to me. I told myself love required trust. I told myself doubt was poison. So I chose peace. I chose quiet dinners over hard questions. I chose comfort over clarity. I told myself that strong relationships. I could have taken it then. I could have asked harder questions. I could have demanded answers. Instead, I rolled closer to her and closed my eyes. That's how it always starts, not with explosions, with adjustments. With explanations. With people telling you you're overthinking. I learned later that lies don't break you. The silence after them does. I found the letter folded between utility bills. Official, polite, dangerous. It said my business account was under review. I laughed at first. "This is a mistake," I told Lena. She touched my arm lightly. "We'll fix it," she said. Her voice was calm, practiced. "You didn't do anything wrong." I nodded, but my stomach tightened. That account was supposed to be simple, temporary, harmless. I opened it because she asked, because I trusted her, because love had trained me not to ask why. Back then, I believed paperwork could never turn into a cage for me. Later I learned. Lena stayed close that night, cooking, smiling, asking if I was okay. "We'll call the bank tomorrow," she said. "You stress too much." Her support felt rehearsed. When Detective Alan Brooks called the next day, his tone was gentle. Just routine questions, he said. You're not in trouble. I agreed to meet him, still believing truth protected honest men. Lena squeezed my hand. I'll be right here, she promised. I ignored the wait again, because ignoring things had become my skill. Brooks met me in a small office, no cuffs, no threats. I stared at numbers I recognized but didn't authorize. That's Lena's side, I said. He nodded slowly. That's what... She blinked, then frowned. That's crazy. I had to protect us. That's when it clicked. US meant her, not me. Every past lie lined up, neat, intentional, suddenly sharp in my memory. The money, the meetings, the timing, all arranged before I ever noticed. I wasn't part of the plan. I was the cover. She stood there quietly, watching me fall. Inside. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I asked. Lena's eyes filled fast. I was scared. Of what? Losing everything, including me? She didn't answer. That silence screamed louder than confession. We can fight this, she said. I shook my head. You already chose sides. She reached for me, then stopped. I did what I had to. I stepped back. I waited until Lena fell asleep, her phone buzzing softly on the nightstand like it was impatient. I opened my laptop and logged into the account, my hands steady, my breath slow. The transfers were there. Clean and deliberate, rooted through names I didn't recognize but patterns I did. You planned this, I whispered to myself. There was no confusion left, no missing piece. I closed the screen and sat in the dark. For the first time since this started, I didn't feel lost. I felt informed. And that felt dangerous in a different way. Knowledge didn't ease the pain. It sharpened it, but it also gave me something I hadn't had before. Control. The next morning, I pretended nothing changed. Coffee? Lena asked. Already made, I said. She smiled. You're quiet. Thinking, I said, about us. She laughed softly. You worry too much. I watched her hands. Calm, confident, not the hands of someone afraid. Who's Victor? I asked suddenly. She froze for half a second. Who? Victor Kane. Her eyes flicked away. A client. Rich one? She sighed. Why are you asking? Just curious, I said, and meant something else entirely. Later, I stood outside the bedroom door and listened. I didn't plan to. I just stopped walking when I heard my name. No, he doesn't know, Lena said into the phone. Yes, everything's moving. The account's clean. A pause. Then softer, I know. That's why I need you. Another pause. I can't go back. When she said Victor's name again, her voice changed. Less guarded, more hopeful. I felt something tear, but quietly. No scream, no collapse. Just a clean break inside my chest. I stepped away before she opened the door. I didn't want her to see my face yet. I wanted to keep this moment to myself. That afternoon, she talked about groceries and weekend plans like we were still real. Victor says the market's shifting, she said casually, then caught herself. I mean, people say. I nodded. He seems important. He's successful, she said, and safe, I added. She didn't deny it. I deserve stability, she said carefully. So do I replied. She looked at me then, really looked. Like she was checking if I'd figured it out, I smiled. Not because I was okay, but because I was done showing pain to someone who measured love in security. That smile confused her, I could tell. It felt like reclaiming something stolen. That night, alone in the bathroom. My reflection didn't argue. I replayed every moment, every ignored signal, every excuse I'd made for her. The betrayal hurt, but not because she chose someone else. It hurt because she chose quietly, strategically, and let me keep believing. Still, I felt no urge to explode. No need to confront her with proof. She had already decided who she was. All that remained was who I would become in response. And that choice was mine alone. I lay beside her, awake, listening to her breathe, feeling oddly separate. She shifted and murmured, "Everything's going to be okay." For you, I thought. I reached a conclusion as calm as it was final. I would not beg. I would not expose. I would not scream or plead for truth from someone who already sold it. I would choose my own ending. And whatever came next, I would walk into it with my eyes open, my voice steady, and my dignity intact. I didn't tell Lena where I was going. I put on a clean shirt, checked my wallet, and stood in the doorway for a moment. She was on the couch scrolling. "I'll be out," I said. "Okay," she replied without looking up. That was it. No questions. No concern. The walk to the station felt calm, almost respectful, like my body understood before my heart did. When I stepped inside, the officer looked surprised. "Can I help you?" he asked. "I'm here to turn myself in," I said. Saying it out loud felt lighter than keeping it inside. Detective Brooks met me 10 minutes later. "You know most people don't do this," he said. "They argue. They hire lawyers." I shrugged. "I know." He studied my face. "You're not scared." "I am," I said. "Just not of this." He leaned back. "Why?" I met his eyes. "Because jail is temporary, losing my dignity isn't." He didn't reply right away. He just nodded, like he understood more than he was allowed to say. The paperwork felt slow but clean. Every signature felt like closure. They took my phone. "Anyone you want to call?" Brooks asked. I thought of Lena. "No," I said. "I'm good." He raised an eyebrow. I met Raymond Cole on my third night, when sleep wouldn't come and the room hummed with other people's regrets. He sat on the lower bunk, reading nothing, just staring. "You knew," he said. "Is it that obvious?" I asked. "You still think time owes you answers?" he said. I sat. "Waiting is fine," he said. "Expecting is what hurts." We talked after lights out. "Why you here?" he asked. "I trusted the wrong person," he smiled. "That's not a charge." "It should be," I said. Raymond shook his head. "You chose where to stand. Own that." I bristled. "I didn't choose the setup." "You chose the silence before it," he said. That stayed with me. Next day in the yard, he walked beside me. "You angry?" "No," I said. "Just tired." "Good," he said. "Anger wastes time. Easy to say. Hard to live," he replied. I asked him how he survived years inside. "By learning patience," he said. "And by respecting myself when nobody else would." "What does that look like?" I asked. "It looks like not begging," he said. "Not explaining yourself to people who decided already." I thought of Lena's face, the practiced concern. What if they were wrong? "They usually are," he said. "Still doesn't change who you need to be." At meals, he listened more than he spoke. "Why help me?" I asked. "Because you're quiet," he said. "Quiet men either learn fast or break slow." I laughed. "Which one am I?" "Depends," he said. "Do you blame her, or do you study yourself?" That question cut deeper than bars. At night, I replayed choices, not to punish myself, but to see patterns. I saw how I traded boundaries for peace, certainty for comfort, questions for quiet. I stopped calling myself unlucky. "I wasn't a victim," I told Raymond. He nodded. "Say it again." "I wasn't a victim," I said. "I was careless." "Better," he said. "Careless men can change." We spoke about dignity. "Dignity is behavior," he said. "Not outcomes." "So jail doesn't matter?" I asked. "It matters," he said. "Just not the way you think." Days passed without drama. That felt like progress. One afternoon, I told him, "I miss my life." "You miss an idea," he said. "Keep the lesson, drop the fantasy." I breathed easier after that. I stopped counting wrongs and started counting breaths. One evening, he asked, "What do you miss most?" I answered, "Control." He nodded. "Control starts with mornings," he said. "Make your bed, eat slow, speak plain." I laughed. "That's it?" He smiled. "Simple works." We practiced silence together, letting noise pass without grabbing it. "Notice your breath," he said. "Notice your choices." I did. I noticed how I stood straighter, how apologies left my mouth, how blame stayed locked away. "You don't owe explanations," he reminded me. "Only consistency." I stopped rehearsing speeches for court. I stopped arguing with ghosts. When anger rose, he said, "Name it, then release it." I tried. It worked. I learned to wait without shrinking. I learned to listen without surrendering. "You're rebuilding," he said one night, "brick by brick." I asked, "What if I fail again?" He answered, "Then fail honest." That landed. Honest failure felt lighter than perfect lies. Days blurred, but my center sharpened. I wasn't here to win arguments. I was here to become someone I could stand behind when the doors opened. Patience stopped feeling like weakness and started feeling like choice, and choice felt powerful even inside walls that tried to tell me otherwise. Raymond noticed and nodded without praise, which taught me restraint better than applause ever could. When letters came and went without Lena's name, the ache dulled into clarity. "She took my freedom," I told Raymond. He looked at me and, "She gave me clarity," I said. He smiled, small and sure. That's the trade. That night I slept. Really slept. News travels slow inside, but it always arrives. Raymond handed me the paper and said, "You might want this." I scanned the article and felt nothing spike. Victor King questioned in Financial Probe, I read aloud. Raymond watched me. "You smiling?" "No," I said, "I'm steady." He nodded. "That's better." I folded the paper. Victor's name sat there like proof, not victory. I didn't feel relief. I felt confirmation. The kind that doesn't need witnesses. "Looks like timing caught up," Raymond said. "Timing always does," I replied. Later that week, a letter came with familiar handwriting. Emily Ross. I sat on my bunk and read it twice. "I tried warning you," she wrote. She burned every bridge. Work, friends, favors. People talk. I whispered, "Of course they do." Emily described Lena's new apartment. The tension, the whispers following her. "Security costs more than she thought," the letter said. I laughed once, quietly, not happy. Just clear. "She always wanted clean exits," I said to Raymond. "Left messes behind instead." He said, "Mess finds its owner." On the phones, Marcus spoke fast. "It's unraveling," he said. "Victor's lawyers are everywhere. Lena's stressed." I listened without interrupting. "You okay?" He asked. "I am," I said. "You don't sound excited." "I'm not. You deserve this," he said. I shook my head, though he couldn't see it. "Deserve is loud," I said. Lena sat across the glass, hands folded, eyes searching my face like it still belonged to her. "You always were," I said. She flinched. "I never wanted this," she whispered. "Neither did I," for how things happened. I watched her mouth shape the words. "You're sorry for the mess," I said. "Not the plan." She swallowed. "You don't understand everything," I smiled gently. I understood enough before anyone spoke. The silence between us stretched, heavy, revealing how far apart we had traveled without ever walking together again now. She pressed her palms to the glass. "You wanted control," I said. "I took it away," her voice cracked. "You chose jail over me. I chose myself," I replied. She shook her head. "Victor promised security, and I promised loyalty," I said. She asked. I leaned forward. "Because panic is what you expected." The realization settled slowly on her face, like a door closing that could not be reopened by apologies or late confessions now. She tried again, softer. "I was under pressure." I nodded. "So was I. You don't see everything I carried," she said. "I see what you dropped," I replied. Her eyes filled. "Say something," she begged. I said, "I already did months ago." She gripped the bench. "Can we start over?" "No," I said. "You already started somewhere else." She whispered, "I didn't think you'd let me go." I answered, "I let go before you pushed." The guard shifted nearby. I stayed still, listening to my own heartbeat, steady, unbroken. Her questions circled, desperate, while my answers stayed grounded, shaped by choices I finally respected without asking permission from anyone else in that room today anymore. She wiped her cheeks. "You're punishing me," she said. "You loved me," she said. "I did," I replied. "That's why this ends clean." I said, "You lost it when I didn't beg." Her shoulders dropped. "What do you want from me?" I answered. "Nothing." The word landed hard. That emptiness felt earned, not cruel, the natural result of choosing myself instead of performing forgiveness on demand. Her silence confirmed what my calm already knew about endings and the cost of control for everyone involved. She stood when time was called. "I don't recognize you," she said. I smiled. "That's the point. Will you ever call me?" she asked. "No," I said. "Will you hate me?" "No." She searched my face. "Then what?" I said, "I'll move forward." She hesitated, then turned away. I watched her walk out, smaller, quieter, carrying the weight she tried to give me. The room felt lighter without her, as if honesty finally had space to breathe without negotiation. I sat back, shoulders relaxed, accepting the quiet as proof of growth earned through restraint and choice. I stayed seated after she left. The guard waited. I said nothing. I thought about timing, about choices, about silence doing its work. When the guard asked, "You ready?" I nodded. As the door opened, I spoke softly, not to her, not to anyone else, but to the truth I finally trusted. "I forgave you long before you asked." I stood, calm, carrying forward the version of myself that survived without begging, That calm felt permanent, a boundary I would keep no matter who tested it next. For the first time, I stepped outside with a paper bag and a thin smile, the gate closing behind me without ceremony. That's it? I asked the guard. That's it, he said. The air felt loud. Marcus waited by the curb, hands shoved in pockets. You free, he said. Because I'm learning how to walk again. Slowly, carefully, without anyone telling me where to go. Freedom felt wide, unfamiliar, and mine alone. I breathed once and stayed present. No rush today. No noise anywhere. Yet we drove in silence. You sure you're okay? Marcus asked. He nodded. People are asking questions. Let them, I said. I already did privately, I replied. He sighed. You're calmer. I said. Raymond said quiet keeps you clean. Who? An old friend, I said. He taught me patience. Marcus glanced over. You sound done. I am, I said. Done chasing explanations. I won't relive it for applause. He respected that and changed the subject. We watched traffic and let the moment pass. I dropped my bag at a small place and stood still. What now? Marcus asked. Mine, he smiled. Need help? Later, I said. For now, distance helps. He nodded, understanding. After he left, Raymond's voice echoed. Make your bed, eat slow, speak plain. I did exactly that. No plans, no announcements. Just habits returning, brick by brick, without witnesses. I cooked simple meals and slept early. I wrote lists, crossed items off, and kept promises. No revenge plans, no speeches, no headlines, just forward motion and accountability. That steadiness surprised me daily, and kept me honest always. Days passed. Marcus texted. You hiding? I'm healing, I replied. He sent a thumbs up. I didn't explain further. I met no reporters, made no posts, told no story. When doubt crept in, Raymond's words returned. Consistency beats drama. I repeated that while washing dishes, while walking blocks, while choosing silence instead of defense. I answered emails, paid bills, and closed loose ends. The work felt clean and sufficient. I didn't rehearse speeches or imagine confrontations. When memories flared, I let them pass. So did patience. Every quiet step helped. Enough. One evening, Marcus called again. You sure you don't want to set the record straight? No, I said. Truth doesn't need a stage. He paused. I'm proud of you. Thanks, I said. The past felt sealed, not buried. I trusted the quiet to keep me steady. That agreement felt solid and permanent. I slept easily afterward. Perfectly so. I walked alone at dusk, hands empty, shoulders light. No plans pulled me forward. No ghosts dragged me back. A passerby asked, You good? I smiled and said, Yeah. Every step felt earned and unclaimed. I wasn't proving anything to anyone. The city hummed, indifferent and kind. Time felt generous again. I accepted it without bargaining. That acceptance felt like freedom. Real freedom, at last. Success didn't announce itself. It showed up quietly, like a habit kept long enough to matter. My manager said, You're reliable. I nodded. That's the goal. Friends said, You seem lighter. I answered, I stopped carrying things that weren't mine. Marcus told me, People are noticing. I replied, Good, then they'll leave me alone. The work paid steadily. My sleep deepened. I spoke less and meant more. Nothing flashy. Just progress that didn't ask for approval. I learned that peace compounds faster than applause ever could. Every day ended without regret. That felt like winning without witnesses. News found me anyway. Marcus said, She's not doing well. I asked, Why are you telling me? He hesitated. She keeps asking about you. Tell her nothing, I said. She regrets it, he added. Regret is private, I replied. So am I, he sighed. She wants closure. I said, She had her chance. Silence followed. It felt right. I didn't need updates to feel complete. I didn't need apologies to validate my choices. I chose distance, and distance kept me clean. The messages came next. Unknown numbers, old emails. Can we talk? I just want to explain. Please. I deleted them without opening. A coworker asked, You don't feel curious? I said, Curiosity costs. Another said, You're cold. I smiled. I'm contained. Control wasn't blocking her. Control was refusing to reopen a door I already walked through. I learned that dominance is loud and temporary, but self-respect is quiet and permanent. I kept my phone face down and my schedule full. That felt intentional. One night, Marcus tried again. You sure you don't want to hear her out? I answered, I already heard everything. What if she changed? He asked. Then she changed without me, I said. He paused. You're firm. I'm finished, I replied. There's a difference. We talked about work and weather instead. I noticed how calm followed boundaries. No spikes, no swings. Just steady days built on choices I could stand behind. I thought about control while washing dishes. Control isn't winning arguments. It's choosing silence when noise asks for you. It's refusing to explain your healing to people who benefited from your confusion. I practiced that daily. When praise came, I accepted it without leaning on it. When doubt arrived, I named it and moved on. Raymond's words returned often. Behavior is dignity. I kept my behavior clean. That became my reputation. Unreachable didn't mean cruel. It meant unavailable for chaos. I stood by the window one evening, city humming, phone quiet. I didn't feel hardened. I felt aligned. Jail didn't break me. Trusting the wrong person did. Surviving it rebuilt me. I turned off the light and let the night settle. Tomorrow would be ordinary and earned. I welcome that. I wake up calm now and that still surprises me. You okay? Marcus asked last week. Yeah, I said. I finally am. He smiled like he believed me, not because I convinced him, but because my voice didn't shake. I don't rush mornings anymore. I choose them, coffee, light, silence. I hear my own thoughts without flinching. That's new. Pain used to talk louder than sense. Now it waits its turn, then leaves. I don't fight it. I acknowledge it and move on. That's dignity. Not denial, not noise. Just ownership. I think about identity a lot. Not who I was to others, but who I am when no one's watching. Raymond once said, character shows up alone. I didn't understand then, I do now. I stopped performing strength and started practicing it. I stopped explaining myself to people who didn't earn access. When someone asks, how did you survive that? I answer, I chose myself. That answer doesn't need footnotes. It doesn't need sympathy. It stands on its own, so do I. Betrayal didn't destroy me. Letting it define me almost did. I learned it slowly, the hard way, through quiet nights and locked doors. I didn't escape pain. I carried it, studied it, and set it down when it taught me what it came to teach. That choice mattered more than anything taken from me. I don't pretend it didn't hurt. I refuse to pretend it owns me. Both can be true. That balance is where peace lives. Sometimes people say, you're strong, I correct them. I'm honest. Strength fades when it's forced. Honesty stays when it's chosen. I chose honesty about my limits, my mistakes, my blind spots. I chose to stop rescuing people who didn't want to be saved. I chose to stop trading dignity for comfort. Those choices rebuilt me quietly, brick by brick, without applause, without witnesses. That's the kind of rebuilding that lasts. If you're listening to this in your head, wondering how to move forward, hear me clearly. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure from the person who hurt you. You need alignment. You need to decide who you are when everything else falls away. Betrayal doesn't end you unless you let it write your identity. Don't give it that pen. Take it back. Write something clean. Something you can stand behind. I look at my hands now and see steadiness where there used to be tension. I leave rooms when they feel wrong. None of that is dramatic. All of it is freedom. Freedom isn't the absence of walls. It's the presence of choice. I didn't understand that until I lost both. Losing them taught me which one mattered more. I didn't win because someone else lost. I won because I stopped playing a game that required me to disappear. Jail didn't break me. Silence didn't erase me. Waiting didn't weaken me. Every step I took on my terms added weight to who I became. That weight feels solid. Earned. Mine. I walked into jail on my terms and walked out free in every way that mattered.